What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, going back to Sleep Token. Yes, indeed, Sleep Token fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Charles B, and this is actually one of Charles B's 3 prioritized requests for the month of September for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Charles. Hope you enjoy the show. Charles wanted to see me react to this song by Sleep Token called Euclid. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, oh, wait a second. Yeah, this is starting to ring a bell with me, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. As always, Charles has provided me with an intro to read to y'all, so here we go. Here we are at the finish line of Sleep Token's Take Me Back to Eden album. Out of this album's 12 tracks, so far you've reacted to 9, and with this song here, that brings us to 10. Euclid is the 12th and final track and serves as the album's closer. Just like the title track before it, Euclid features callbacks and references to previous Sleep Token songs in its lyrics. Now, even though When the Bow Breaks from their first EP 1 was not a song you enjoyed, no it was not, I remember that one, vaguely. I mentioned back then in the intro for your reaction to it that lyrics from that track would be referenced 7 years later in this very track, Euclid, specifically with the line here, "This bow has broken through." Since When the Bow Breaks closed their debut EP and Euclid closes out this album, it feels like Euclid isn't just ending this album or their album trilogy of Sundowning, This Place Will Become Your Tomb, and Take Me Back to Eden, but also serving as the culmination of everything Sleep Token has done so far. If the album Take Me Back to Eden and its title track play out in an almost cinematic fashion, then Euclid should be seen and treated as the epilogue, wrapping up not just this album but their whole musical journey up till now. I have thoughts on that, and I'm going to save them for the end, but we're going to revisit that. Let's see. This was posted by Sleep Token, no surprise, and the video has 13 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Euclid. That's all I got. I do recognize the artwork, so I'm like 99% sure we're in the right place. Charles hasn't led me astray yet, so let's put our faith in that. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Oh yeah, I see it. The fourth of the triad. Da 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 da.
Just run it back, give me 5 whole minutes. I am thick tower on the inside burning. I've got a ghost in the hallway grinning and a heavy head that won't stop turning. If my fate is a bad collision, and if my mind is an open highway, give me the twilight two-way vision. Give me one last ride on a sunset skylake. Call me when you get the chance. I can feel the walls around me closing in. Just running forward, alive like wires as I see the past on an empty
See if they do it again.
ceiling. I play along with the life signs anyway, but oh to God you don't know this feeling. Yet in reverse you were all my symmetry. A parallel I would lay my life on. So if your wings won't find you heaven, I will bring it down like an ancient bygone. Call me when
Okay.
you have the time. I just need to leave this part of me behind. Do you remember me? When the rain gathers. And do you still believe that nothing else matters for me? It's still the autumn leaves, these ancient canopies that we used to lay beneath. No, but no.
I could hear the finality of this song. This is not even a joke. I could hear the finality of the song within the first 10 seconds. We're at, all right, we'll say 2:30, 2.5. Okay. So the usage of the fourth integer to the major third integer. So to the triad. So you have the inverted fourth to the third, right? That just screams finality. Right there. Da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Yeah, it's the fourth to the third integer. That just screams finality. That right there feels like everything's getting wrapped up, right? It absolutely does. The use, I know what everybody's going to be asking. What about the vocal effects? We know DH hates vocal effects. I don't know why people get that idea. The only reason I think people get that idea is they don't listen. They hear what they want to hear. They don't listen to what I say in its entirety. They hear one little section and they go, oh, that's it. That's it. DH hates vocal effects. Here's what I have always said about vocal effects. I hate it when people use vocal effects, and that's all people hear. They hear that part, and that they don't care about everything else that comes afterwards. I hate it when people use vocal effects when there's absolutely no rhyme or reason behind it. When it serves absolutely no purpose, it doesn't add anything to the song. If anything, it acts as a distraction. When there's no rhyme or reason for the usage of the effect, I think it's pointless. And I think it's stupid. Okay? Now, did I say there that I hate vocal effects? Did I say that? That's all, that one section, is that all I said? No, it's not. There are circumstances behind it. Okay? I don't like it when bands utilize vocal effects for no reason. They just do it because it's a new toy that they discovered. Oh, we got this new voice effect sample pack. Let's pop it in to Pro Tools and let's play around with it and let's make it work in one of our songs for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
I I'm 100% stupid.
I'm not a fan of that. I absolutely stand by that. Now, when people put vocal effects onto a song, and there's reason behind it, it serves a purpose, then I'm all in favor of it. Whether it be to demonstrate, that they're gonna put a vocal effect on, like a phone, like a phone filter, right? Because they're demonstrating that they're having a conversation with someone over the phone. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. They use an AM radio filter to demonstrate that there's a voice coming in over the radio, and they do the lyrics over that, with that vocal effect for the purpose of demonstrating that. I got no problem with that. They use vocal effects to help thicken up the vocals, to make them thicker and fuller and broader sounding. I got no problem with that. None whatsoever. They are using a vocal split to create these harmonies, right? And they're thickening them up with a little bit of a wah, a little bit of an envelope filter on there, a little bit of auto wah on there to help broaden it out a little bit, and make the integers and make the harmonies sound even bigger and more robust. I got no problem with that. It serves a purpose. So I got no issue with it. I like the vocal harmonies. After they did the first time through with the vocal harmonies, I was like, okay, let's see. And I didn't say the whole thing, but what I meant, what I said was, I said, let's see. That's all I said was, let's see. What that means is, let's see if they do it again. Because if they do it again, then it's on purpose and it serves purpose. If they only do it once, then it was a waste. Well, clearly it wasn't a waste because they did it again, right? So I got no problem with that. None. I think that was really smart. I got a chuckle and I got a laugh out of the usage of the impacts in that one breakdown section where we had the lyrical delivery and then in came the instrumental with the hard rock guitars and the bass and the drums, all with the heavy accent work, and then they lay out, and here comes the piano and the vocals again in response. I thought that was clever. I thought that was really clever. It wasn't your prototypical song structure that we hear from Sleep Token, where they hold off until like a little after halfway to 2/3 of the way, and then they hit you in the gut with the metal section, right? That's prototypical. That's their style, right? We've heard a number of songs where they follow that blueprint. Not the case here. Not the case here. We got it pretty close to the beginning, actually, on the early side of the halfway point, and it was very, very well done, very tastefully done, like a call and response. I like it. I think it worked out well. All right, let's get back to, we said 2.5, right? Let's get back to there. Huh. A soft ending, but a strong ending. That feeling of uncertainty, which is going to tie in with what I'm going to talk about at the very end of the review. That is powerful. That is very powerful. Okay. No, I'll save it. I'll save everything. Okay. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Sleep Token with Euclid. This was a request from Charles B. And this was actually one of Charles B's 3 prioritized requests for the month of September for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, Charles. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let's get to it right now because there's quite a bit I want to discuss. So let's not waste any time here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 9.1. Yep, 9.1. You heard me. I didn't stutter. That is the score I feel this song deserves. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 9.1. What does that mean? Well, a 9.1 would translate to an outstanding, amazing, impressive scale rating because overall, this was an outstanding, amazing, and even slightly impressive song. We're going to talk about that, I promise you. It would also get 5 out of 5 stars and an A letter grade. So there you go, a 9.1, outstanding, amazing, impressive scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Man, what a difference an ending makes. I can't wait to talk about that ending, man. I really can't. So let's get through everything else first, as fast as we can here. I already talked at length about the usage of the vocal effects. I think they were very well used. I think they were very stylistically, tastefully done. I think they absolutely did serve a purpose, and they did affect the song in a positive way. So for those people who go, oh, DH just hates vocal effects, he doesn't like vocal effects. No, you clearly have never listened to everything I had to say. I said I don't like vocal effects when they are pointless, when they don't serve a purpose, when there's no rhyme or reason for using them, other than the fact that a kid opened up a present at Christmas time and got a new toy. You know, I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, congratulations, you got this new toy. Let's put it to use. For what reason? How did that help the song? In this situation, it absolutely helped enhance the song in every single way possible. It was creative, it helped tell the story, it helped expand and add value to the song, both from a tonal standpoint and from a differentiation of voicing standpoint. It served purpose. So I have no problem with it at all. I love the division of the song, breaking it up. I love the beginning, the usage of the 4 and the 3, automatically giving it a sense of we're wrapping things up. You know, I think Charles said it best when it was, you know, is treating the song like an epilogue. How many movies have we seen that have had epilogues that have something very similar in style to that? Maybe not so much in the same key or the same pace or the same energy. Sometimes it's a little more grandioso with a great big fanfare, but the 4th to the 3rd, the 4th to the 3rd, the 4th to the 3rd, to the 6th to the 7th, to the 4th to the 3rd, the 4th to the 3rd, the 4th to the 3rd, 6, 7, 4, 6, 7 root. You know, it makes perfect sense. It absolutely does. And the minute that they started in with the 4 to the 3 to the 4 to the 3, the 4 to the major 3, I'm just like, this is finality. This is wrapping everything up, man. It really is. Starting off right. Absolutely starting off right. I love how they kept the metal sparse in this as a last track, trying to wrap things up in the prettiest bow possible with that epilogue type of style of feel. I love what they did with the usage of metal, with the usage of rock, using it in key points, not relying on it to carry the song. For a song that serves the purpose of the final track, wrapping everything up, whether it be just in this one album or in all 3 albums, you know, like Charles talked about, the journey being carried out over the course of this trilogy of albums. I mean, either way, just from a single album or from the trilogy of albums, it works. It absolutely works. Too much metal might have ruined it. It might have. I am a firm believer that there's no such thing as too much metal. And I stand by that, but at the same time, that's just personal taste. You know, you're looking at, you know, the structure of an album, you're looking at the final song of the album. You want to have a sense of finality. You don't want to just, how many albums have we heard where you put the last song on the album and it might as well have been the opening track, you know, or, you know, a middle track or the second track. There's nothing about that last track that screams finality. This song screams finality. It absolutely does, from start to finish. And I absolutely appreciate everything that was done on there, whether it be the drumming from 2 on the pads at the beginning with those electronic drum tones, or whether it be Vessel's vocals, whether it be single voice delivery, or layered out to, I don't know how many voices we had when they add the vocal effect. I couldn't tell. I think I heard at least 6. I'm sure there were more, but I heard at least 6 distinct voices within that stack. So, I mean, it was all done tastefully and with purpose. Now, let's talk about the ending. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this, so y'all might want to get comfortable and get ready for a journey. So, the ending definitely had a sense of finality. Okay? Now, finality within the song itself, okay? I loved this ending, a stark comparison to what we heard with the last reaction I did, which was the title track, Take Me Back to Eden. That ending really upset me because it built up to this apex point. And then I'm just gonna, I didn't say it during the reaction I did to Take Me Back to Eden, and I'm absolutely kicking myself for not saying it then, but I'm gonna say it now. That, to me, you build and build and build to this apex point, and then you're gonna take a linear fade. That is just, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. I don't care who I upset. That is just pure laziness. You have got to be kidding me. You put all this effort into this fantastic buildup, this apex point, and you're gonna deliver a linear fade? Why don't you take that song and go back to the 80s when linear fades were super popular and every record executive was demanding as many linear fades as possible? Stupidity, in my opinion. This song, by stark contrast, very powerful ending in the softest and prettiest way possible. Talk about leaving the crowd wanting more. I mean, the way it tapered off, there's a big difference between a linear fade and tapering off naturally. When you taper off naturally, the piano comes out, hits that last chord, hits it and just lets it resonate and decay naturally. That's a big difference than taking a slider and moving it down slowly. Or in modern times, you just select, fade, take your option, linear fade, and it literally does this. It literally does that. A straight line, it looks like a greater than sign. It's so robotic and so artificial. It it doesn't even sound natural. It really doesn't. Where with this one, it fades out of its own volition. It fades out on its own resonance. I thought that was really nice. It's a powerful ending, considering the fact of what the song is entailing. The final song, the last song, the last exclamation point. Now, there's two ways albums can do this effectively. One is exactly what this song did, end with that pretty decay, okay? Or you could take the powerful, like the literal power approach and hit that last chord, blah, and just let it ring and hold it. I'm gonna say this, like a Dream Theater song. Look at 6 degrees of no, let's not use that one. Let's use what would be a good song? Metropolis. Let's look at Metropolis Part 1. Why not? It from the album Images and Words. When that song ends, you know, boom, and just let it resonate. You know, that's another way of doing it. You know, they're both powerful in their own ways. One is just pure power, and the other one is more of a almost philosophical power. Is this the end? Now, this is where things are going to get real interesting. So, Charles said it himself. Let's see if I can find it in the intro. Okay, here it is. Since when the Bow Braves closed their debut EP and Euclid closes out this album, it feels like Euclid isn't just ending this album or their album trilogy of Sundowning. This place will become your tomb and Take Me Back to Eden, but also serves as the culmination of everything Sleep Token has done so far. Now, here's where things are going to get interesting, and I really hope this isn't the case, okay? But I've seen other bands do this before, where they've recorded 2 albums, 3 albums, 4 albums, whatever, and they do something very similar, where they're kind of wrapping things up, and it's a culmination. You know, that this one song, the last song on their last album, is kind of a culmination. Okay, what they're really doing is they're wrapping up all the loose ends, and they're calling it quits now because they want to stop while they're on top. They want to quit while they're ahead. Why anybody would want to do that, I don't know, but I mean, I've seen bands do it. I really hope that's not the case here. I hope this is not Vessel and Two's way of saying, peace, we're out of here. You know, I hope that's not the case. You know, as I've been listening to these guys on the channel, I've been being exposed to more and more songs from them. Granted, not every song has been a hit with me. There have been a few songs I've downright hated from them, but that's true of every band and every song. Guys, you guys know I'm a huge Kiss fan. There are not just Kiss songs I can't stand. There are entire Kiss albums I cannot stand. I cannot stand Dynasty. I cannot stand Unmasked. I think Unmasked is the worst album they ever wrote. Music from the Elder. What the hell was that? I mean, that was not a Kiss album. I don't know what the hell that was. But yet it got released with the Kiss, brand on it, and the guys from Kiss recorded the album. Why in the world would Kiss ever attempt to write a concept album? And then, once they write the album, when they produce it, they put the songs out of order. So when you listen to this story being told throughout the course of the album, what in the world are they doing? They got the last track as they got what should be the first track of the album as the last track. And then the second track, well, that's appropriate. It should be the second track, I suppose. 2 and 1 should 2 and 12 should kind of go together. But they chopped it up and put the songs in a completely weird order that makes absolutely no sense. And they've even gone on record and said, yeah, when we were putting that together, we weren't really thinking very clearly. And before we knew it, we released the album and we realized, oops, the songs were out of order. but I have songs, not just songs, I have entire albums from Kiss that I can't stand. And I love Kiss. So, what I'm saying is not every song is going to hit a home run with me. It's just, that is impossible. If my favorite band can't do it, no band can do it. So there have been songs from Sleep Token that I've absolutely hated. There have been songs from Sleep Token I've felt was all right. It's okay. It's not my personal cup of tea, but it's all right. I've heard songs from them that I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed most of it. And then there have been a few songs from Sleep Token that I've absolutely loved. This would fall into the third category. I didn't love it. I didn't love this song, but it makes perfect sense. And I respect what was done on it because it was done very well. So I have absolutely no problem with it. I think it's a great song, honestly. The reason I'm giving this a 9.1, I was impressed how the song was structured in a sense of finality as well as it was from start to finish. The entire song felt like it was wrapping everything up. And like Charles said, not just from this album, but from all three albums that I've heard. Okay, let me just put it this way. The reason I'm giving this the 9.1 because if this is the finality, I'm not saying it is, I'm hoping it's not, but if this is their curtain call, if this is Vessel and Two's way of saying, we're done, we've done everything we needed to do, we said everything we needed to say, and we're going to stop while we're on top, undefeated and untied. See you all later. Have a good one. If this is what they're doing, if this is their final curtain call, I honestly could not think of a better way to do it. This song was very well done, very well written, very well composed, very well arranged, very well executed. And it just really left that sense of finality out there. And I don't say this word often, but couldn't have picked a better way to do it. I think from a standpoint of finality, I think it was perfect. I honestly do. So I don't see how this song could have been any better. But in terms of wrapping up an album and closing it out, or even possibly wrapping up a career, depending on how you want to look at it, whether it be a single album, the trilogy, or their entire career, what a way to close it out. So that's going to leave it up to interpretation now, and it's going to leave it up to the listeners, and it's going to leave it up to the audience. It's going to leave it up to the fans, and in a way, it's going to leave it up to the band. If the band wants to call it quits right now, this is it. I honestly couldn't think of a better way to do it. In all honesty, maybe now, hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully they'll be back, in 2 or 3 years, however long it takes them to write another album. And we'll continue the journey. We'll see, but time will tell on that one. But yeah, a 9.1. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 9.1, which is an outstanding, amazing, impressive scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.